Hello, everyone, and welcome to Harv's World for another episode of Ravensberg. It's a bright, early fall morning, let me tell you. And I just dropped over here. Actually, that's so cheap. I think I'm going to buy 20,000 liters. Just picking up some lime. I realized after the fact that, well, I have a field that needs to be limed, and I haven't done that. That'll do. Almost 20,000 liters. That should keep me going for a good long while, and it's incredibly cheap, so why not? It's almost 8:30, and you can see it's still plenty dark here. Winter is coming, that's for sure. Winter is definitely coming, and this is not Game of Thrones. This is Game of Farms. Where's Jon Snow when you really need him? Send him over for a little visit to Herr Huber. At least I hope we don't get invaded by White Walkers and such. That would be bad. I don't think our cattle would appreciate that very much either. Okay, well, I am still leasing equipment. I don't feel like Frau Bauman's farm has enough money yet to start thinking about the prospect of buying anything. And this is stuff that's going to be used only occasionally. So, I might not need this for another 2 or 3 years to spread lime. Especially, this also would spread fertilizer, but I've got so much manure that what's the point of buying fertilizer? So that's kind of my perspective at the moment. Now, somebody recently I was talking to mentioned that 15 times speed getting a late start on this farm. This is jumping out of character for a moment. But 15 times speed starting this late on the farm might be a bit much. It might be too fast. And to some degree, I agree. But so far, it seems like everything is going okay. So I'm going to try to stick with that. And as I said when we originally were talking about the speeds and what to play this on, I can adjust accordingly. If things get out of control, get crazy, then I can always drop back down to 5 times speed or whatever. And I imagine the more land that I get, because this is going to grow up, I expect it to anyway, the more likely it is that I will need to slow down time. But for now, I think everything's gone as well as can be expected, and this farm is moving right along without too much trouble. So, we're going to run with that and see. Okay, time for another trip to the shop. Have to see about some herbicide. Okay, well, that was a fairly lengthy trip down to the shop. Sometimes it goes that way. I did find a sprayer that I like. Man, this is huge. And this should give us some nice crop protection. Take care of the weeds that are already there, and then also just take care of any potential future weeds that might think they want to invade my precious little field of clover, or otherwise. Okay, let me see here. There we go. Perfect. I heard recently about an interesting festival in Germany. It's actually pretty cool. Now, in the Alps, Alpine Germany, the ranchers, the cattle ranchers, will take their cows up into the mountain pastures to graze for the summer. And when the summer's over, they're ready to bring their cattle back down. They actually have a parade. They parade the cattle back down. And not only that, they dress them up in basically what I would call a crown. I mean, check this out. They're bright, colorful crowns called fuikel, something like that. Um, they break out the brass band. It's the folks in their lederhosen. It's probably one of those big long Alp horns. Ricola. But they literally just parade the cows right back down to bring them in for the winter. I thought that was pretty spectacular. People have some very unique customs around the world, and every once in a while you stumble across one. It's like, huh, isn't that different? Well, that one's different. Apparently, they love their cows very, very much. Maybe we need we need something to allow us to create the alpine tradition of bringing the cattle in for the winter. A little brass band playing, a parade of cows and their fancy crowns. I don't know. Cultures of the world are fascinating in the things that they do and the way that they do them. Something else I've discovered about Germany, which this is probably technically true about most cultures around the world. I mean, if they can, they will, right? Is, they love to be the biggest. The biggest this, the biggest that. I mean, they've already got the biggest beer festival, Oktoberfest, which we did talk about previously. They also have the world's largest wine festival. They also have the world's largest pumpkin festival in the fall. Which, I don't know about you, but that's one of the things of fall that I really do look forward to is here in the States, we have all sorts of fall festivals, harvest festivals, corn mazes. You can go out to the apple orchards and pick apples. Pretty much do whatever you want to do in the fall. I mean, not whatever you want to do. Getting back to nature only goes so far. But it is interesting. Very, very interesting. World's largest pumpkin festival. Oh, and this was actually a cool little fun fact about the pumpkin festival. They actually take gigantic pumpkins, hollow them out, and make little boats out of them that you can ride in. Talk about some utilitarian pumpkin farming there. Can't you just hear the kids going, Mom, I want to ride in one of the pumpkins? They come back smelling all pumpkin-y. No, I'm sure they must line them or something. I mean, I don't know if you've ever felt the inside of a pumpkin, but it can get a little bit slimy sometimes. I'm sure they protect you from that, but still. It's talk about thinking outside of the box. I guess in this case you'd be thinking outside of the gourd. Germany right now also boasts the world's tallest church. It's in a city called Ulm. It's the Ulmer Münster. It is 530 feet tall. 53 stories of church. That's a lot of church. Apparently, somebody is building one that's going to be bigger, but for the time being, Germany still holds the record for the tallest church in the world at 530 feet. And of course, it's got to be old. I mean, why wouldn't it be? Germany has some of the oldest buildings in the world, some of the oldest cities in the world. Crop protection. Done. Now, I'm about to tell you exactly what I mean when I talk about I don't want to spend money willy-nilly because there's something I might need, etc., which is why I keep leasing equipment for now. We just don't have enough money. Well, wow, I'm just stumbling over my own tongue today. Pardon me. um, anyway, I forgot to ask Frau Baumann about storage for liquids. Now, I saw that she had some liquids in place for storage. This liquid storage right here. This one, but it only holds traditional liquids like slurry digestate, milk, and water. It does not allow me to store my herbicides, so we need to get some herbicide storage in place ASAP. Because I'm not going to throw away herbicide, and I don't want these pallets just sitting around. So I'm just going to pop this bad boy right in there. Now, for those of you who don't know, if you've played on this map, you haven't sorted everything out yet. One thing to keep in mind, first of all, these red markers, you can turn them off just by walking up to them and clicking the trigger. The other thing is, when you've got herbicide in a tank, like this one for example, and you back up here, I'm going to open my menu just so you can see. Sometimes it will just say, start filling. If you're not in the right spot. But if you are, it will say start overloading, and what that does, it starts emptying your herbicide tank into the storage facility. Now, what I have not been able to get these liquid storages to do is go directly from a pallet. If you know the answer to that one, let me know, because I haven't sorted it out. All I've been doing is reloading my sprayer and then overloading it into storage. And then I'll get the sprayer sent back. Every map has its own idiosyncrasies. Every once in a while you just have to sort them out. So we'll get our herbicide into storage, we'll get this thing back to the shop, and it's time for some manuring. More on the manure front, because those fields, let's take a look at our fields actually, while I'm thinking about it. Right here, 9 and 10. We can see they look good now, no weeds. There were weeds scattered all over the clover field, and a few here in the, what do we put in there? Triticale, yep. So we are in good shape. They're both growing nicely at this point. Okay, we're empty there. Get rid of this bad boy. I'll send that back to the shop here in just a minute. Go grab the manure spreader. Now, not only do I have... Oh, that was a close one. Woo, getting a little carried away there, Harv. Where are we at? Yeah, I mean, just today these cattle have produced another 20,000 liters of manure, so I don't think we're running out anytime soon. I feel like this has become the Ravensberg manure series. Sometimes I do an awful lot of talking about manure. I'm going to top this off. So we were talking about Germany liking things to be the biggest. And one of the things that Germany boasts, which is kind of cool actually when you think about it, just simply because I don't know if you know, but I know that Germany has some very famous woodworking, especially around the Black Forest areas. They're very well known for their carvings, things like that, and one of the things that came out of German woodworking is the proverbial cuckoo clock. Well, because Germany likes things to be the biggest. They are home to the world's largest cuckoo clock. Just what you always wanted, the world's largest cuckoo clock. It's in a very nice place, actually. It's at a park in the Black Forest. Of course, it's in the Black Forest. That looks absolutely gorgeous. It's not exactly a theme park, but you know they have like a Ferris wheel and things like that, and other attractions to see. But one of those is the world's largest cuckoo clock. And something else that I've discovered about Germany that frankly I find fascinating. I'm not sure that I would want to do this, but it does seem pretty spectacular. They are home to the world's longest inhabited bridge. It's a bridge. It runs across the river, and there are houses built all along it. It's called the Kremmerbrücke. I'm sure I'm butchering that word, and I apologize, Germany, but Kremmerbrücke, the Merchant's Bridge in Erfurt. And, you know, I was talking about the half-timbered houses before, kind of like these. Well, that's exactly what is built all along this bridge. It's like stepping into a German fairy tale, which God knows we've talked plenty about German fairy tales. Remember Rumpelstiltskin? But yeah, the world's longest inhabited bridge, which would be cool, and I don't know. It seems to me like it would be kind of damp and cold. So I guess cool does apply there, huh? Maybe. Something like that. Time for a reload. Oh, there we go. Boom. Bob's your uncle. Yeah. 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 Yeah, for sure. Okay, back to it. Let's see. World's largest stuff in Germany. Grossenstuffen. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Grossen. The word Grossen in Germany basically means large. Anyway. In North Germany, there's a city named Kiel. I believe it's Kiel. And every year, they have the world's largest sailing festival. Bust out your boat and head to Kiel, Germany. But that's their claim to fame. They have the world's largest sailing festival, and it's incredibly popular, I guess. I mean, I'm sure there are tons of sailing fans all over the world, and you know this will draw in millions of visitors, just millions of them. People who love sailing, but it's more than just sailing. You know, it's a full-blown festival. Think Oktoberfest on the water. That kind of that level of festival. Oktoberfest on the water. And lager in the sky. Oh yeah, I can't help myself sometimes. Sorry. Not sorry. There was something else about Germany that was very interesting, and I'm trying to recall what it is now, because I had it on the tip of my tongue and then it disappeared. Don't you hate that? Oh my gosh, it drives me crazy, and the older I get, the worse that becomes. That's what it was. I got it now. I got it. Dortmund. In the city of Dortmund, they boast the world's largest Christmas tree. Now, for one reason or another, and I should probably look this up. Maybe should do an episode about Christmas, because Christmas is very, very strongly celebrated in Germany, and there's a lot of history there. But they have the world's largest Christmas tree in Dortmund. This thing is 45 meters tall. That's huge. That's bloody huge. And time for a third load of manure. Man, we go through it quick. So to do these two small fields one time is going to take 3 full trailer loads of manure. But yeah, 45 meters tall, and it weighs 40,000 kilograms. The thing is massive, just massive. Like, think of your FS19 spruce tree and double it. The ones that you harvest and sell for timber. Or sell the timber to the sawmill. I mean, just crazy huge. And when they decorate this thing, and it's a living Christmas tree, mind you. It's not, they're just finding the biggest tree and cutting it down and bringing it into town. No, this is a living Christmas tree. They decorate that thing with 50,000 lights. They must start decorating in the middle of October to get that job done. They actually put an angel on top of it. The angel alone weighs 200 kilograms. Just the topper on the tree. That thing has got to be massive. But one of the things that Germany is known for, and I did mention this a little bit when we were talking about castles, is the Christmas festivals. Or the Christmas markets. That's what it was, Christmas markets. Germany is famous for some very big and spectacular Christmas markets. And aside from the cold and snow, I mean, there are reasons to visit it every season, but Germany, I think, would be especially spectacular at Christmas to visit. Do some amazing... You want to take a Christmas shopping tour. If that's your bag. If you love Christmas. I know a lot of people who just live for Christmas to roll around. Now, personally, I'm not a fan of all the commercialization. But that's not what I'm really talking about here. What I'm talking about is more of traditional Christmassy type stuff. And unique things that, just say you're from the States, if you're visiting Germany, there are things that you'll be able to get at these Christmas markets that, you could probably get them in the States somewhere, but there's nothing like getting it from its source. So at this point, what I'm going to do is get this sprayer back to the shop, probably call it a day, and then we will check back in on the final day of spring. See where things stand, what do we need to do, get the cattle fed, and talk a little bit more about Germany. Well, there was so much time left in the day yesterday that I decided to make a little bit of extra money and went and fertilized one of the locals' fields with manure, of course with manure. And another job cropped up back on field 22. That big field, it's a very nice manure contract. Well, it's a fertilizer contract, but of course I'm going to use manure. I should have plenty. But right now it's really just about getting these cattle taken care of. Oh, it's brisk this morning, 35 degrees Fahrenheit. And yes, I'm using Fahrenheit. I know I'm in Germany, but I know Fahrenheit. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I keep saying that, don't I? How are our cattle doing this morning? Let's look and see. Oh, yeah. They are very, very, very much in need of taken care of here. So the first thing I'm going to do is get them some more straw because I have it. In fact, I think I will just leave all of this equipment right here, including the weight. And I think this tractor will take care of the straw blower with no problem. Give me a chance to ride this, even though it's cold and I should be in a tractor that has a cab. And why don't I have a better coat on? I don't know, I'm crazy that way. This should manage the straw blower. Not much straw left though. Probably going to have to fill it back up. Oh yeah. Alright. Grabbing some straw. Get them some food. And I actually need to hop down to field 22 because I'm just going to hire somebody to do that. Which makes a lot of sense as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the job pays $15,000. So, let me get him started. Alright, loaded up with straw. And you can see, I mean, that's all I've got left in there. Not much. So, well, like I said, you know, it's not the best for them not to have straw, but at the same time, it's not going to kill them if they don't. But as much as we're utilizing the manure right now, I'd like to keep them in straw. Manure seems to be doing quite well. It also keeps their health up. If I don't give them straw, they do take a health hit, which I want their productivity to be up because we're counting on milk to bring in the money. To really bring in the money. Okay, water's taken care of, straw's taken care of. Now we got to get them some food. Now, one thing, and I'm going to look back at our cattle one more time. So, you see the grass down here. Now, as long as they have grass in their pasture, that should remain full. For some reason, there was some quirkiness going on at one point, and it was showing empty. And that's why I was like, oh, I've got to get them some grass. Well, the minute I mowed around that pasture, all of a sudden it kind of kicked in and said, oh wait, there's grass here for them to eat, and I haven't had to fill them back up with grass ever since. So the pasture is working as intended now. I expect once winter hits, which is coming just tomorrow, and I think we've already got snow in the forecast for tomorrow. I'm sure we have snow in the forecast for tomorrow. So I expect when that snow finally hits, the crops in the field will go into hibernation. And then the pasture will stop producing grass, and that's when I will have to have some to provide them beyond the silage and hay that I'm giving them right now. Now, Frau Baumann, the other day, and I don't know if I even want to mention this yet or not, but it's a thought, and she seemed kind of excited by the prospect. So, what it is she's considering the possibility of running a full-scale dairy operation. And what I mean by that is, okay, we're going to keep moving forward with the cows, but she's considering adding chickens in the mix, maybe creating her own little market or supply local markets with fresh eggs and milk products. And I said, you know, we're barely up and running here. We're not even turning a profit yet. We have very limited equipment, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. You know, manage your expectations. Because, you know, she sees that the farm is coming around, that I have things organized, that I know what needs to be done here, and she's kind of putting the cart in front of the horse a little bit. And so I just wanted her to understand that, you know, first things have to come first. We've got to start turning a profit with these cattle. Then we can think about adding additional things. On the plus side, you know, a lot of our cattle are pregnant now. About 70 head of cattle have calves on the way. And I expect by summer of next year, we're going to see milk production start ramping up. And not only that, the size of our herd is going to increase by over 50%. And there's a distinct possibility that, you know, we could end up buying more. We'll see. Okay, the cattle are settled. They're completely fed. Their health is back up to 76%. I expect to see that continue to climb. Manure is under control because we're using it on either, if not our fields, other people's fields. And there are a lot of fields to fertilize. People are looking for a lot of manure. With all of that said, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Ravensberg. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. I very much appreciate you coming along for the ride. And until next time, take care.